Previously on Unranked.
Recording in progress.
Oh my god.
And I'm not streaming, so.
Oh my god.
I'd say we deal with this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can include this in part of it.
I would, if it was me, I would have I would have not said anything. I would have created a false identity. I would have gotten alternate passports, and I would have gone off the grid.
You guys don't understand. I went to go hit stop record and realized that it said record to this computer, and I was like, no. Hello, Tom.
Hello. What a weird.
Whoa, what happened to Alex?
What a tease it's been for listeners to get to this before getting to this point.
Ooh. All right, so here's the deal. We recorded a great finale yesterday.
Well, we didn't record a great finale.
Well, that's true.
We did a great finale.
So what happened was we were recording, and the feed got bad, so we stopped the recording so we could quit the Zoom, start again, and then the recording didn't get started again. So we did the fall episode, but we don't have anything.
We did all the challenges. We know the outcome of the challenges.
It was great.
Now you're recording this now, right?
I hit the
Okay,
you should have just heard it.
Just make it. I did. Yep. I didn't know if I just wanted to double check. But yeah, so we recorded it. There was some amazing moments. Yeah. And then
it's been hundreds of episodes since someone didn't have the last time someone didn't record. We weren't recording we were all recording individually.
Video,
yeah. Like that's how long. And it's only because I had all these videos open and we were streaming, and then it was just like, all right, let's get into it. Let's go. Right. So we were like, all right, that's fine. We did the beginning part of the show. We did the chit chat. We're going to get on tomorrow morning. We're going to record. And we're just going to do it again, with this time with commentary, because we already know what the reveals are. Except what's happened instead is that Alex's child is sick. So Tom and I decided we're not going to do the challenges, which we've been saying basically. It's funny now, Tom. We told everyone at the top of this, you have to go watch this one, and now you don't.
Sucker!
You know what I should do? I should replace the intro with this episode.
Oh my God.
I should replace the intro with this episode with when I hit record last night when we realized I wasn't recording. So that will be the intro of this episode. I will move the original intro previously on to next week so that it makes sense. And then we'll go from there. We've made it. The 460th episode, the final episode of the year, and the challenge grand finale. Little hype video.
You gotta watch this week. This is primarily a visual week. So go to YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
To watch this episode, because it is.
That's very true.
Visuals today, baby.
Yeah, absolutely agree. In fact, it's going to be a shorter episode than normal because we spent time pre-recording stuff. We actually have a total of 9 challenges that we're going to go through for this episode. It's the the capstone to last year. So let's just let's get out of the, let's get the paperwork out of the way, the standards, the little checklist, and let's just say Christian Humes here.
Let's get the
Alex
formalities.
Marino, Tom Caswell, 460th episode. Which means, I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Maybe you remember from the last 459 times, but we're talking about the 460th Pokemon today.
Right. That's how that goes.
Pokemon 400. Yeah, Abomasnow. Oh, that's right. We have the evolution from last week's Snover, which was a good Pokemon.
Yep.
Also has a Mega,
The
Also
Mega's
has a
pretty
Mega.
cool. It's not, you know,
Yeah.
it's not the worst. It's not the best, but
The,
it's pretty good.
so this Pokemon builds on what we had with the last Pokemon design wise, but it's much more like like Yeti bear like Betty Yeti
Betty.
slash bear like in its posture and less of a straight up just tree.
Mm,
I do really like that it is essentially supposed to be an abominable snowman, but it still has those tree influences in it. But the
right.
thing that I do like about the mega design, and it's the rare time I will say this, but a lot of the megas get too complicated. They start to look like Digimon, have too much going on. But with this one,
Digimon.
because it gets the extra limbs and has those all these extra spikes coming out of it, it looks like a snowflake from the front,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
theming
Looks
wise
good.
is great.
Looks good. It gets 2 extra nipples on its back, so that's good. Gets 2 extra
He's
nips.
so concerned with the back nips.
Well, I mean, in his Mega, he gets Mega nips. So, I mean, good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Guy kind of reminds me of the snow people. Not really. I was gonna say the snow guy in Twilight Princess, but
Oh, dude, that's one of the coolest stages
yeah,
in all of that's one of my favorite temples.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yes.
easy.
Oh
Um,
man.
Probably my most memories of like if I think about Twilight Princess, other than like that Eldian, not Eldian Bridge, whatever that bridge sequence, like
Elden.
Elden,
Elden
yeah, you had
Bridge,
it.
that, and then like the
Oh my God, Elden
first,
Ring. Totally stole it from fucking thing.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But when I think about playing the game, I think about that fucking temple.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I agree. I think
yeah.
that's what, and there was one in the sand that was pretty cool, but those are that's it. That's the one that definitely jumps out. So yeah, Abomasnow. Tell us about its name, Tuna.
Uh, it may be a combination of Obama and snow, or Abominable Snowman, another name for
Hell
the
yeah.
Yeti.
Hell
That
yeah.
or Obama.
Right.
Great.
I mean,
Brilliant.
this game came out during his presidency, so that makes sense.
Is there another difference between the male female Abomasnow like there was with Snover? Is
I don't
what
know,
I'm
you tell
trying
me.
to look at that here, and I'm
You're the male female guy.
it's still the same as before. Longer fur on the female
Mm,
Pokemon.
mm,
It's very, very minor. So minor, in fact, that you would be hard pressed to know at a glance.
mm.
You'd really have to look for it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I know you guys didn't care for it too much, but I think the blue is a good shiny change here, just because it just leans into the ice fact more. I always like if the shinies lean if it's a dual typing, if they kind of make it, it makes it look more like just a snow Pokemon.
Yeah.
Um, but I also like blue. What am I gonna do?
What you gonna
Good call.
do? You like blue?
It's a nice spectrum. All right, Tuna.
Yeah.
Where are we thinking? Where are we thinking? Oh, I didn't do the Pokedex.
Yeah. Pokedex. I mean, what? Jesus. Come on. Get your
Legends
shit together.
Arceus says that Abomasnow is a powerful Pokemon that can split huge boulders with ease, dislikes associating with others, and chooses to live quietly deep within the mountains, playing with the
Snover.
snow.
Snover. Okay.
I think Snover was in the 30s, is where we put
Mm-hmm.
Snover. Yes,
Yeah, I would put
33.
that. I'd put that higher.
I would also put it higher.
Put it higher
I
than
was
that.
thinking right under
Shinx.
Hmm.
Gabite.
Hmm.
Oh, I was gonna go
Gabite.
higher than
Oh,
that.
okay. That's fine. I'm good with that. I could live with that.
Yeah, it's not better than Luxio. I'm happy with that. I think it's a cooler Pokemon than Pachirisu. Yeah.
Pachirisu.
Yeah. Wow.
In the 20s, so that's the new 20. Oh no, the
Then
number. Wait, what? Oh, that's weird.
because
The
you were trying to
numbers.
edit at the same time.
No, no, no. I was just watching it as you were typing. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it's the new number 21.
Yes.
Abomasnow.
That's a respectable back to back. A 33 and 21 on this list. Now that we're
Yeah.
75 deep. That is a respectable spot. At least I think so. All right. Fellas, any quick notes from the holidays? Anything you got that you really liked? Any good memories you want to shout out to? Hope everyone had a nice, happy holiday at home.
Yeah, holidays were good. Everybody was good. Family
Get
was good. We
anything good?
hosted here. Now, more kid got a lot of stuff. She
Oh
got a
yeah.
left-handed guitar. She got a American Girl baby with a bassinet and a changing table and a high chair. And she got a whole bunch of new instruments. She got this thing called a Tony, which you can like put
A
figurines on
Tony
top, and
Award.
it yeah, and it like sings. And she kept wanting to open every single gift she got. She got those like Crayola things that are you could draw, but it like and you could pick the color that you want, and because of the paper that they use, it shows up. But
Yeah,
anything else,
yeah.
it's
I
clear.
got that for my niece when she was like 3.
Yeah, so that was good. Yeah, it was good. We did the seven fishes dinner. We
Oh,
had king crab legs, which is my favorite.
oof.
So yeah, everything was good. Good times. Good times.
Yeah,
You guys?
that's great.
Yeah, I had a
Any
good time.
yeah.
We did Brooks for New Year's Eve,
Yep.
and then we
New Year's Eve, huh?
Really, Eve.
Really, real early.
yes, and then we oh yeah, sorry, Christmas Eve, and
Oh
then we
boy.
scooted on to my folks, and we have just been drinking and eating chocolate has basically been the experience. My main gift was a little e-reader.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
This is
Very
the
nice.
Onyx books Go Color.
Okay.
And I'm
Oh,
making it.
I've been looking at those.
Yeah, so I was looking into it. This has physical buttons, which is like the big draw.
Uh-huh.
And it does color if I want to do color. But one of my things is I am going to catch up to One Piece in
Whoa.
2025.
Whoa.
So
Wow.
I've been reading a little One Piece over the last
What are you
couple
up
of
to?
days. I
Is it
mean,
early?
I'm in the Logue Town arc.
Oh, okay.
You were almost caught up with where you are in the anime then.
I'm
You're
past
gonna
where I am
you're
in the
gonna be
anime.
you're gonna be fucking caught up so fast, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I did that. I almost also I read the first book that I read on this was Annihilation, which I'm almost finished with, which is if you've seen the movie with not
Yeah,
Nicole Kidman, who is it? Natalie
Natalie Portman.
Portman. Very
Oh
different.
yeah.
They basically wrote the writer Jeff Vandermeer and the who of the book and the writer of the film Alex Garland, who is also like the screenwriter on 28 Days Later and a bunch of and did Civil War was his latest film. They kind of wrote the two in tandem, so they kind of built off the same basic skeleton, but they're
Yeah.
very different. And then there's also like sequels to the book
Huh.
Annihilation, and he recently released um, another book in the series that's both a sequel and a prequel. So very different, very good, and they're very breezy. Like I'm literally, it's been less than 24 hours, just a little over 24 hours. I'm almost done with the first book. So hoping to get a lot of reading in to while away the looming disaster that is 2025, and hopefully we'll catch up with One Piece.
Hell yeah, dude. I was about to recommend a book to you, and then the second you said you were reading, I was like, nope, nothing should distract Tom from One Piece. Don't say anything.
Nothing should distract him from One Piece.
You have
One
to tell me
Piece.
how
Do,
you enjoy
do,
that because I've
do,
been thinking
do,
about
do,
getting an
do,
e-reader
do,
because
do.
at the beginning of the year I always try and do I've never gotten more than halfway, but I always
I've
try
well,
and
gotten
say I'm gonna do the
three
50 books.
e-readers. I never use them. I end up just going back to physical books.
Well, I want to get one that's not like the Kindle so that I can put like Libby and other apps on it, like Shonen Jump, like Tom's. I think I was
so
looking at
this
that
is
exact one.
this is an
Yeah.
actual Android tablet, so you can
That's the one I was looking
install.
at, I think.
Yeah, so you can install whatever apps you want. So I have Libby installed, I have Shonen
Yeah.
installed, I have
Reading
Kindle
manga on that
installed.
sounds awesome.
This is the one if you want like a lot of like freedom and variability.
Yeah.
I think like the new, and it's also cheaper than the color Kindle that they just released.
Right.
You can like side load and do all that shit on the Kindle, but like
Exactly.
natively, it's not as
No.
open.
Yeah, I'd rather just have it have Android.
Yeah, I mean, I've liked it so far. I mean, the big thing has been like 2024 was definitely the year that I read the most in a long time. But I do like the physical book. Like, I do not like reading on my iPad. Like, I don't like swiping through a book. First off, I have the big iPad, so it's a little unwieldy. I don't like the glossy screen. Like, I like the texture of a book.
Yeah, so do
Um,
I. I have the big iPad as well.
but every time, and the other thing is like, if this is any indication of the future, like I'm traveling a lot now, and so every time I travel, like I look at the book that I'm reading and I'm like, I just don't want to throw that in my, I already have my Switch and my Asus ROG Ally packed, my laptop and my iPad. Like the last thing I need is a book. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, we'll give the e-reader a shot. And yeah, I mean, I've it's basically been in my hand for the last 24 plus hours. So yeah, I'll report back with book
Oh yeah,
reports throughout 2025.
that's
All
sick.
right.
We didn't do a lot. We stayed home. So
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chill. We watched
Mhm.
Survivor. We
Ah,
watched
beautiful.
season 4
Right.
and
Yeah.
season 8 of Survivor, and now we're watching season 40.
Okay.
Because Traders has Tony on it, and she's never seen
Right.
Tony.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, well, now that you've seen,
Tony.
she wanted
Done.
to see the Boston Rob seasons, and I was like,
Wait,
all right, we did
40
that.
is the first season with
No, it's not.
Tony?
It's the
No, I was
second
gonna
No,
say.
season
he's
with
he's
Tony.
from Kagayama, but 40 is
Okay,
all
okay.
of the winners. And so I was like, oh, you know what? I could put on Tony's season, or because we're on a little Boston Rob kick, I could put on
Mm,
40 because it's got Boston Rob, it's got Amber, it's got Parvati, it's got Sandra. I was like, it's also like a
right.
Traders season now,
Right.
So I
Sure.
figured why not? If I'm gonna do it, if we're gonna watch one with Tony, I'd rather watch that one. Plus,
What
it's
a
the
what
yeah.
a thing to do.
I gotta tell you, I've been resold on the new era, going back again and rewatching the old ones. Um, the way the finale used to work with two people was rarely good, I think. I think the
Mm,
three-person finale is better because you end up not kicking off the strongest person, which is what would happen before. And you just bring the goat with you, you know?
hmm
There were the rare times where you had three strong people at the end, so they couldn't do that, but a lot of the time, you know,
mm, hmm
they didn't have a chance. It's like the
No.
final immunity challenge was everything.
hmm
Right, that
Um,
makes sense.
all right, well, we have quite a lot to get through.
Mm,
Let's do a recap. How's that
okay.
sound?
Okay.
All right.
Go on.
So we have played quite a few challenges, starting with the Walkabout Mini Golf driving range that you saw at the beginning of this, and most recently we ended with Astrobot building speed. The current scores as follows:
Or as
10 points
follows.
to Christian, 8
That's
points
it?
to Alex, 3 points to Tom. That's it. And next time we do this, we're going to score differently. I do think that we should have done at the beginning the whole like
Yeah, I
3,
agree.
2, 1 points.
Yes, I
But
agree. I think second place needs something. It's a little more, it gives it more
you would actually be winning by 1 point
stakes. Oh, really? Oh,
because
because
I've
I
had
did get
three
second.
last places and you've
Right.
only had one.
Right.
So you would
Okay.
actually be it would be a 1 point difference between you and I right now, and you would actually
Mm,
have the lead. So
mm.
it'll make a big difference. And Tom would also seem much farther like along because getting no points unless you get first
Right.
really sucks because Tom's like, more seconds than you can tell from that. I'm excited. I'm hoping everybody gets wins here today.
I mean, I'm definitely getting a win. There's no way I'm not getting a win.
I
No way
feel
I'm not getting a
I'm
win.
going to guarantee this. I feel really good about one. I feel there is
Yeah.
one that
Yeah.
might be the best performance I've had all season.
Okay. All right.
So that's the one
Oh
that I
boy.
feel about. So
What are we
we have
starting
two
with?
walkabout mini golfs. let's break those up. Let's do 3 and 3 and then 3, and we'll do the live ones last because we actually recorded 3 right before the show. So
Yeah.
we'll end on those.
Okay.
So let's Alex, of your 2 that you chose, pick one and we'll play that one first.
Let's start. I love Walkabout. It's holiday time. We did a holiday course. Let's do holiday hideaway
All
fastest
right.
time.
Can we do a little? Can we do a little? But after each one, can we do a little?
Yeah, where we talk about it.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely doing a
Not
recap. Maybe.
decompose. What am I saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Debrief.
Breakdown. Yeah.
Debrief.
Yeah.
Debrief.
We
Yeah.
absolutely should.
Oh,
We
yeah.
absolutely
Because I'll
should.
tell you
yeah.
what, each of these drove me mad in different ways.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Each
I know.
of these drove me insane.
I want to
Let's
talk about
do
it before we play it, but there's no, you can't.
No.
You
You
can't.
have to talk about it after.
This one's long though, so we can talk about this, while we're watching it because
Right. Yeah.
this is a longer video, and I didn't speed this one up because I felt like since it was a race,
Right.
we should let this one go
Yeah,
full
give
speed.
it its due. Give it its.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to see how this
Wait,
goes.
but you got 7 seconds on Shumsey and got go on the 2 of us.
Oh man. All right. Well, how about we just wait 1 second and let me fix that.
Okay.
Look, I had to put a lot of these together in a very short amount of time.
Just fucking
I want
hilarious.
the.
We're doing it
you know how-
live.
Where's the technical difficulties thing that you made?
I think that's what we do. I think that's how it goes. How about those challenges though?
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think we picked a really good crop of challenges.
Yeah.
They all kind of filled a different niche.
Yeah.
And they were all frustrating in different ways.
Yeah.
And some surprising outcomes.
A lot of surprising outcomes.
A lot of
surprising outcomes with this finale. And we introduce, and this is like a fun tease, I guess, but we introduce a new thing where instead of these just being ahead of time, we did 3 of them right before the show started. So none of us had 2 weeks to just grind out and learn how to play and get a super high top score. It was like, your skills are your skills here. You're gonna get 3 shots at this, and then you got to send it. Or there was actually you and I played against each other, and Alex and I played against. So
yes,
that I think introduces
great.
a big element. Yeah, that introduces a big element. So I'm excited to that'll be more fun to rewatch next week anyway when we do commentary, because I feel like today you and I yeah, it'll be more fun to come back to.
Well,
so yeah, Tom,
I did a little something here, coming up with an idea for what we can do, unless you have something, Chris.
Well, I was going to make a slight change to it.
Okay, go ahead.
Because if we do our game of the year next week with Alex, right? And then we do the challenges afterwards, then we're essentially doing what we were supposed to do this week anyway. So why don't we still do that? But why don't we talk about all of our games that are not our game of the year this year?
Oh, I like that. I like that better than what I was going to pitch.
What were you going to pitch?
I asked ChatGPT,
oh fuck,
make 25 predictions about gaming in 2025, and they were all, half of them were all garbage.
Were they
AI
a Nintendo Switch 2 and GTA 6 will come out?
No, ChatGPT thought the PlayStation 6 was coming out next year.
Oh hell yeah,
which would be nice.
That PS5 Pro is outdated already, I guess.
But I like your idea. Games that didn't make what would
our top 10.
Our top 10. Okay, so games outside of our top 10. Okay,
yeah, things that we wouldn't end up giving time to talking about.
I like that.
So I'll tell you one that I'm playing. I'm about halfway through it, and the Plucky Squire was not going to make my top 10 this year, but it is because of the new update, where it doesn't pan to show you things that that unlock and tell you where to go. They have this new update where essentially you can choose for it to not hold your hand as much. And it's not the difficulty is any higher, but it certainly fixes the problem of it felt like a game for children, which
I understand there's probably people that look at this and go, well, it looks like a game for children, but that has nothing to do with anything. The art style and actual gameplay are two very different things. And I still think they could have put more difficulty into it. But Therese has loved watching this. Every time it's on screen, she's like, this is amazing. Like, this looks incredible. She's like, this is so cute. But it's a lot more enjoyable now. So I think anyone that has missed out on it or skipped it because they heard maybe it was too handholdy, there's definitely more there for you. Or if you just started it and dropped it, maybe you want to go back now and check it out because that update is really nice. How about you? You want to throw one out there?
Yeah, I'm looking at the list of stuff. Um, One and it's funny because I did submit an official top 10 for our GameSpot top 10 because they just aggregate, right,
Yeah.
everyone's top 10s, and I'm pretty sure a game that didn't I it just slipped past me was Echoes of Wisdom, and I'm really it's just one that it sucks that it kind of got lost in the vortex of releases, and I just didn't get to a point where it felt like, oh, it had its hooks in me. Like, I'm going to make time for this. I know, obviously, Tuna loved it. Did you beat it? Oh, where have you started it yet? I can't even remember where you are
So
with
I
that
bought
game.
it. I bought it and I've played very little of it. From what I understand, it has a similar problem to Plucky Squire in that it is kind of too easy. It's like way too easy to cheese things. There are certain combos of items you can just do and spam and that's it.
Mm. Yeah,
But
mhm.
Therese, I got Therese into Stardew Valley, and so I kind of no longer have a Switch that I can just play all the time. But I have taught her how to I've explained to her like I need you to go save the game and go to sleep when you're done playing so that I can pick up the Switch at any time because for a little while I would go pick up the Switch and she would just put it down so it's like in the middle of stuff so then I can't do anything with it.
It's funny. Yeah, so multiple reasons that you haven't checked it out. And yeah, I think that it's very clear from playing it, like, oh, what a great idea, and I can see how I could get into it. It just didn't in the little I played. And again, if it hadn't have been such another crazy release year, I would have given it more time.
Yeah, of
But yeah,
course.
I mean, it was like
Of course.
I was having my fill with Astrobot, right? At that
It was
moment.
amazing.
So they out Nintendo, Sony out Nintendo this year by giving us the family friendly game of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Echoes of Wisdom, despite when seeing it, thinking, oh, well, this is going to be one of the best games of the year, is not in my top 10.
Here's another one not in my top 10. It was close. It was close because I
Mm.
really dug this. I know you didn't, I think you couldn't get past the controls. I think you struggled with it, but Pepper Grinder. I played the hell out of Pepper Grinder, 100% it, beat it. I thought it was a really fun indie game if you're on your Switch, especially. It's a great handheld Steam Deck Switch game. It's definitely like perfect built for that. Um, it's like a 2D kind of Metroidy, kind of platform. It's not Metroid. It's more of a platformer, but you just have a giant drill and it's sort of a little bit like Dig Dug, except like it's like kind of like ripping you forwards and you're there. There's like it's kind of like a momentum based platformer, but you're not doing normal jumps because you're kind of like a almost like a bullet bill in Mario Kart. Like you're just being like, shot forward and kind of controlling it as best as you can. But I remember, I think you said like you just thought it controlled like shit, which I think I've seen people say. Um,
It had
it's just,
its,
it's
yeah.
hard. It's fiddly.
I found that yeah, it is fiddly. It has its moments. I I was hope you to get into a flow, you really have to kind of really fine tune and figure out, I feel like,
Yes.
what the controls are. And so
Yes.
I found it very hard to get into a flow. And when you would get into a flow, it felt great. But so often I'd feel that momentum kind of halted. And again, it's a time thing, right? It's the more time
Yeah.
you spend with a game and you get familiar with how it works. Um, that becomes less of an issue. But that was something that, seeing the review and seeing Devante, who had captured the gameplay for the review that we did, and he had seemingly like mastered it. I was watching it and I was like, oh, that looks great. Like he's flowing in and out of the things, and like he's really got this. And I was just hoping that it would, I'd lock in on that immediately, but I was finding it very difficult. So I just, I never got back to, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's a good shout out. One that didn't make my top 10, and this is one I didn't even really touch, but I keep hearing people talk about it, and I keep being like, I'd love to give it a go, is Stalker 2. So this is from the Ukrainian development team, a sequel to a beloved first-person shooter.
Slater was talking about that in the Discord.
It's some people's game of the year, and from everything that I've heard, people like my friend Andrew, I was over at his house or his apartment recently for just like it was his birthday, plus it was like a holiday party, plus it was like him and his girlfriend's like moving in party thing. And we were catching up, and he was like, I'm obsessed with it. He's like, I think it's my game of the year. And he's playing it on like his Series S, and this thing already like runs pretty poorly on the Series X. And I was like, how is it? He's like, oh, it runs like shit, but it's amazing. And I'm like, okay, cool. You're enjoying that. Yeah, I mean, it just seems like it's kind of this like survival first person shooter. And it has this system that they call, I think it's called A-type, and basically it's meant to be like really advanced like NPC AI, like the detail to like their schedules and routines is like on a completely different level to anything else any other game is doing. And so it's one that I'm absolutely going to get to, but like it just launched in such a poor state, or at least there was a patch at launch that seemed to fix a lot of the issues reviewers had, but in the reviews, like a lot of people were like, the game was unplayable. Like I just couldn't get through certain things. And then it's one of those things that they've kind of like how the Star Wars Outlaws team was like, oh, we're going to improve the gameplay. And so I just decided there's a lot of stuff I got to play. I can wait on this. So maybe, this time next year, I'll check it out. They put out another big patch recently. But that's becoming an increasingly more common dynamic, I think, for games.
Let's be real.
Habits.
It might not be if games were allowed to take their time.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Right. I don't think Star Wars Outlaws would have come out if they were allowed to have another 6 months to work on that game.
Yeah, it's interesting because they actually talked to the developers specifically for Stalker 2 about like do they wish that they could have delayed it again. And like it's interesting because they were like, no, like we kind of just like felt as a team like we needed to get it out there. So I do think that there is a lot of, especially at something like Ubisoft, where it is we have shareholders, and Tencent might be doing a hostile takeover, and
there were basic things the game was missing that was clear should have been in there, and it only made the game like it was only to its detriment. Like they didn't have like the different hit points on the people. Like if you shot them in the chest, shot them in the head, it didn't make a difference. And it was just like they literally just didn't have time to put that in the fucking game. And that was one of the first updates. They were like, "Yep, this should have been there."
Yeah, so I'm sure in that situation it would have been like, especially because that game wasn't even like delayed at any point. It was they said 2024, and it came out. Maybe it was internally shifted a couple of months because I think people were saying it was meant to come out first half, and then it came out obviously in the second half. But it wasn't a game that had been in. I mean, it got announced forever ago, but they never. When we first saw it, it was like a year out from its release, which is I think something that we're seeing more of now. Like I think it's very clear. I mean, there is the GTA of it all, where at the Game Awards we're not getting a ton of 2025 release dates, we're just
Right.
getting the year. But I also think that developers are and publishers are playing it a lot safer, which is good, I think. Um, yeah. So yeah, Stalker 2, one day. One day. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful.
You know me and my mocha cookie crumble. Here's one for you, Tom.
Yeah.
You should check this out with Brooke if you're ever interested. If you like doing like murder mystery kind of stuff, like puzzle
Okay.
box things, mystery, How to Escape. Tuna and I did this. It's an asymmetrical escape room game. Here's the fun thing about this. Alex played the PlayStation version, so he's playing on the PlayStation. I'm on an app on my phone. And so I'm like reading notes and I'm doing like all these like other specific things. And like I'm working a piece of paper and writing and drawing stuff down. And he's telling me what he sees and what's in the room and interacting with the things. So it is that kind of like asymmetrical puzzle solving, except for this, you don't even need two copies of the game. So this is something you could do with Brooke. Like you could load up the PlayStation or she could load up the PlayStation. You could be on the
What's
app.
the name of it?
How to Escape. It very much feels like a board game that like they're just using a PlayStation and an app for. Like
Okay.
it felt like something you could get in a mystery box.
Okay.
That was a really fun time. This isn't going to make my top 10, and it's honestly only because you and I haven't had time to do it again. But Escape Room Simulator, I think, is a very worthy title if you have a MetaQuest. It's a VR co-op escape room game. They just announced a sequel to it. So because this was already like a big Steam game, the original Escape Room Simulator. So I think the new one's going to have a lot of stuff that like the community's been wanting and things. And so like quality of life things and just like visually, I'm hoping they build in VR at the outset for it or are just planning for it, so that it's because it definitely does feel like we both felt like there's a little bit of like Steam jank to it.
Mm.
You remember, like, just like the way we join a room, the way we
Yes,
interact with
yes.
stuff. It felt like playing a PC
Yeah,
game in VR.
the menus and stuff were like
Yep.
really like bare bones. But once you were in it,
It
once you
didn't
were
have
in the
voice chat
source, oh
because
god,
everyone on PC, like a lot of games just don't because everyone just chats
yeah,
through Discord. So it's just
yeah.
like
How did we end up doing it? Connecting to
we
our
just
phones or something?
no, no, you can just chat directly through MetaQuest. So
Oh,
we just
right,
did a
right.
party
Oh
chat in
god, that was such a
MetaQuest.
pain. Yes,
But
yes.
we had no idea that you could even, like we were just like, oh fuck, what is this? So that's part of why it doesn't make it because even if that game, like if we played it again and again, I'm like, wow, this is one of the there's too many like fiddly things in that game, but man, is it a good time. And if you know someone else with MetaQuest, if you're like looking for a new game to play, I definitely recommend Escape Room Simulator because we did two of the puzzles and they were really fun. They've added more too since. So we should definitely try that again at some point. I don't know, maybe if you have some downtime during the next week, we can do that.
I do. I do.
I'm going to throw another one at you quick. So this is not a
Yeah,
2024 game that came out, but it was a 2024 game for me.
the me.
After I beat Astrobot, they got me. The ads in the game of the little bots got me. And I said, you know what? I'm finally going to go play this Katamari game that I've never played before. So I bought Katamari
Oh,
Damacy Reroll or whatever, Wii
yeah.
Katamari.
Yes.
On PlayStation. I got the collection game.
Okay.
I almost beat it. I can't believe I forgot to talk about this on the podcast. I did this in
Yeah.
like October. I almost finished it. Like I played the majority of the game. That is a fun game. Weird controls.
I've never played it.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, I've never played it.
I thought about making a challenge in it.
It's one that definitely like has is a very like when I've seen it, I've been like, oh, that would be honestly like if they made a phone one, that would be I think a
Yeah.
good jumping in point. Or if they released that game on phone, I don't know how well that would necessarily translate, but it seems like it could translate well. That's hilarious that you played that and you didn't tell, neither of us knew.
I completely forgot.
Did you enjoy it? Like,
Yeah, it's fun.
yeah,
It's fun.
okay.
At first, I was like, this sucks. Similar to Crazy Taxi because the controls are so weird.
Right.
Because you're doing these like alternating moves because you both need to direct the spin of the ball and your character. So like to like turn it or it's just weird. You have to it doesn't control the way you would think it controls, and you have to learn how to control it like within the way the game wants you to. But once you figure that out, you get cooking with it. It's a weird, funny fucking game. It is like a bizarre video game. And I just kept seeing that little bot in the game, and I got, he rolls you over, and I was like, I should play this game. I've never done it. I should play it. It's great. Did you ever finish collecting all the bots?
No, especially because they've added new ones now.
You
Because
should
I haven't
forget the
done
new
any of the
ones.
additional speed
You should
runs or
because there's the
that
final
stuff in
stage.
the
There's a
very
final stage.
right? The very
Yeah.
final stage, right? Yes, no, I have to. I'm very close.
It won't take you
I'm
that
very
long.
close. No, it
And
won't
luckily
take
the
me long.
game is good at fronting where you're missing bots by like
Right.
golding everything. Because if it didn't do that and you had to like go through your bots and figure out what you were missing, that would be
Yeah, because
absolute nightmare.
it's the hidden. It's just like the hidden exits that I have left to do. Um, but yeah, no, I do. Astrobot is going to get 100%ed. I'm so fucking close to
Yeah.
making that happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, though, they are keep adding stuff.
Good.
I saw that there's a fucking Spider-Man bot in it now, and so
Yep.
recently,
There's
and I was
Gex.
like, "Fuck, Gex, we love the gecko." All right, one that I've played a lot of, that we've all played a lot of this year, but isn't going to make my top 10 is Pokemon TCG Pocket.
Oh, same. Yeah. Also
Um,
not making my top 10.
I still check it every day. I still play. I've actually been playing a little bit more since they added that new pack, and I really do like that Celebi Superior uh, combo, because when you get the right cards, it feels real good to
Hell of a
just
combo.
steamroll people. And but it's just missing. I mean, trades, right? Like the fact that trading isn't in the game is a big thing. I think that the I think visually, it's
Trading's
also
tough
like
for that, man, because the second you add trades, they're gonna lose money,
right,
you know?
right. But at the same time, I mean, they're clearly still figuring it out, right? Because that's why it's not in the game. It's not necessarily hard to implement from a
They need to
technological
upgrade.
standpoint.
So do you know that like have you ever looked at the thing you can do with the cards that you have multiple of, how you can burn them and you get that currency and then you can get cosmetics for your cards?
Yeah, shine dust or whatever. Yeah,
And then you can use the shine dust to be like, oh, like now this holographic card has like star explosions and shit when I play it and stuff. They need more stuff like that so that they can still force people to grind out cards so that they can monetize the game. Because
or they limit it with like another hourglass, like
oh,
or
you
the
can only do so
wonder.
many trades.
Yeah, like you can only do so many trades, and then you playing will unlock, or you can use shop cards to get more trade hourglasses. I'm sure
Okay.
that that's what they've got cooked up. What the
Yeah.
balance is there, I don't know. But I was gonna say that, like, I think that, like, another thing is like the presentation of it. When I think about, I played a lot of Marvel Snap. We both did, and I think that, the way that game's presentation, the way in which the cards, every card, each character had a cool animation when you did their action. The music in that, the
Yeah.
haptic feedback, like all of that in that game
It's a
is
better game.
so much better
Yeah,
than in Pokemon. And so I just think that there's
definitely.
like I think that Pokemon is, and again, maybe it's a thing that it's like it's very simple, like you see, and obviously opening the card packs is a feature that like you don't have in Snap, and it's great and still very satisfying. But yeah, I think like I give a huge ding to the presentation of the game. It's just very clinical. It
It
doesn't
is.
look. It looks
It's
like
very
DS
it's very Poke
era.
Center.
Yeah, very like very like or Pokemon Home or anything, which is a
Yeah,
god awful app.
yeah.
Like what a shit app they
Has
made.
no style.
Yeah, it has no style,
The only
no
good thing
style.
with their presentation is the like
The
card
cards and
packs, the
stuff.
foil,
Yeah,
like the sound, the crinkle.
yeah.
Like that is very good. That's the
They put
best thing they did.
all of their effort design wise into the cards and the card packs, which granted, that is the draw, that is where it should go. And
That is
like,
because I the
yeah,
draw of that game is not the gameplay. Like as much as people love playing that game, I
no,
only do some battles. I've battled very little in that game. I just like collecting the cards in that game, whereas Marvel Snap
yeah.
is all about the game.
Yeah, you want to get the cards in Snap for the I mean the whole way in which that game is structured
Yeah,
and the way that you can get cards and they built like series, right? Of like this is a higher tier, like is all based on the mechanics and you can
yeah.
build there are at any one time in Marvel Snap there are numerous meta builds that you can do, whereas clearly in Pokemon it's a lot more rudimentary, which I think maybe is just the fact that again it's for kids,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, so it's fun and I do enjoy it, but and also yeah, I'm with you on gameplay. Like I enjoy the battling and stuff. And again, when you get it relies so much on luck. Like it's just the draw
It
of the
does.
cards.
Yep. If you don't have the
Um,
right hand at the beginning of the
or
game,
if or
you
if
aren't going to win.
when they flip and it's like you go first, you go second. Like if you're going first,
Yep.
you're at a huge disadvantage.
Yep.
So yeah, it's very flawed, but I still enjoy it. But it definitely not making my top 10.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to get to that's not going to be in your top 10 for next week? Or I'm just looking at my list here and
Um,
wondering what else is like worth me bringing up. But thank goodness you're here was a really funny, fun game. It's a very short experience, but if you want like a 2 hour interactive movie, I mean, it's hilarious. And that is a very hard thing for a game to achieve. But because the interaction level is so limited, it's like it's one of those just outside of my top 10s. Like I loved it. I had a great time with it, but it's not in my top 10. Like
mhm.
it's not going to make that. Same with Hot Wheels 2 Unleashed. I really enjoyed playing that. I think that's a great video game, but it's hard for that to like stick out for me the way I play video games now. Like if I was a kid, and I had a smaller selection of games or like it's just
Mhm.
like back in the day, if that game had come out, that's something I would have played nonstop. But the way I play games now and the type of games I play, like I don't know, I'm not sitting around and just racing. Like that's
Mhm.
something I would have enjoyed at a younger age. Oh, and one other, this is probably worth being on a top 10, but it's not on mine because as much as I think the puzzles are incredible, um, it's just it didn't do it for me. And it's Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. It's just
Mhm.
outside. It's really, really hard puzzles. Like really, like definitely some of the hardest I've ever played. But I think the narrative and the visuals kind of dragged the experience down for me a little bit. So,
Okay. I'm looking at my list. Um, I don't think I put it on here. I played a ton of it, but it's a massive RPG. But I don't think my Dragon's Dogma 2 made my top 10, despite it being my
yeah.
one of my most anticipated at the start of the year. And it's got nothing to honestly do with the game. I think the game, for the most part, hit all the notes I wanted. It just simply was too many other better games came out for me.
Yeah.
Like when I think back, like I kind of keep forgetting that it even came out this year when I think back on like when I was creating my list, because I knew that like for me, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is up there. Um, and we'll talk about all these games next week. Helldivers 2, that experience we had there, like
Oh my
there
God.
was a lot of stuff in the top of the year.
Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia being
Yep.
another example. And so it's just been another fucking really stellar year. And I really don't think we're ever going to have a miss year again, unless AI takes over and dominates and the gaming industry crumbles. But I don't think we'll ever have.
Yeah, there's just too many games now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's too many good video games. There's too many companies. It's part of the reason why some games, it's hard for them to reach the level of success that they would have in the past, because there's just so much competition. There's so many other choices, and games are so expensive to make. So I expect we're just going to get a lot more smaller games. There's going to be a lot fewer huge games, but that's actually better for everyone, I think. So
yeah, it's games have to become smaller, because the other problem is like they get created in a vacuum, and the dev cycles take so long that it's like you're creating a game in an environment from 6 years ago that is vastly different to the gaming environment we live in now. And I think that GTA 6 will be another potential paradigm shift again, that will completely change what the landscape of video games look like in the next 5 to 10 years.
At the same time,
to become shorter.
I think that game's going to be exactly what we think it is. And that's all it needs to be. It just needs to be a better looking, more interactive GTA 5 with a new setting. That's all that game needs to be.
Right. I'm thinking less so on the single player. I'm thinking more so on like what they're going to do with that online component, right? Like
I don't think we're playing GTA Online next year.
I don't think it's going to
I don't think it's going to have online next year. I don't think we're having that until 2026. It was like over 6 months after
something
GTA
like that,
5 or something.
And then
online.
That original online launched in a very very underbaked state. I don't think they will have that problem again. I do agree. I don't think we will get online at launch, which is fine. Like we want to play the single player game. We'll have a blast. But when they do launch the online, I think it's going to be much more developed, further developed than the original GTA Online was when it launched. But I also still think it will be missing huge things as well, and that's just going to be fine, because it's funny because we now live in that world for these online live service games where they don't launch at their full potential.
That's
so
true.
There's actually a lot of trends in the industry that like give, because like you go back and play GTA Online and it was like so ahead of its time in so many ways, and it's a fucking nightmare to try and like going to try and play that game and like figure out how to use it. Like I am so interested in how they build this new one. Because that I think that was just such a huge barrier to entry. For like, think about how successful GTA Online was. Now think about how successful it would have been if it was like good.
It was good. I do know.
In the sense of like easy to jump in, easy to play with your friends, easy to figure out like what there is to do. And I think that the new version of Online will have that.
But that's 2026. I will be astonished if we get it next year. I will be astonished if GTA Online launch. They don't need it to.
The main game even comes out, like that. There's still a chance. I think that the single player doesn't even happen.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get the single player next year, but there is a good chance. You're right that there isn't. There is. A good
we
chance.
Shall see. We shall see.
All right. Well, that's a podcast. Next week we'll do our actual top 10s at the top of the show, and then we'll do our challenges with Tuna. It'll be a lot more fun to rewatch those videos in a week. That'll be good. So yeah, sorry you didn't have to watch this one. You could have just listened like normal.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But next
guys.
week you're gonna want to.
You got to watch it.
Yeah, you got to watch it next week. You absolutely got to watch it next week. Hey, I hope you had a great holiday out there, and hope you have a happy New Year's. We'll see you in 2025. Stay unranked.
Suck it.